question. Somehow she managed to do this. Now, as I said, in 1933, not only did she play with the Chicago Symphony, but she was the rehearsal pianist for the production of William Grant Still's ballet. So I imagine she was making a good bit of money doing those kinds of jobs, working as a rehearsal pianist, teaching just on the side. And maybe she had saved up a good bit of money, and she won several awards too, like the Wanamaker Prize and the Rosenwald Fellowship or Scholarship. I don't know if she was able to keep much money from that. I don't know if it was a cash award. I imagine that scholarship was probably just for her tuition. However, I think that her finances probably came from doing those kinds of jobs, working as a rehearsal pianist and writing. And she wrote for Romeo and Juliet. She wrote the music for the entire theatrical work. So she would have probably gotten paid a good bit of money to do that. And that was in 1937, I believe. So that was the year she started the Allied Arts Academy. It ran from 1937 to 1939. And they also put on, and this is another way that they financed it. Thank you for asking that, because this is bringing this back to my memory. They financed the school through productions that were put on at the school. So I believe that one of Langston Hughes's Troubled Island, that particular work was produced there. And I'm sure that brought in a bit of money.
Where was that? I'm sorry.
That was at the Allied Arts Academy, the Allied Arts Academy in Chicago. Let's see, and I can just read that for you because I know it's in here.
And was it specifically for black youth? That's what I read. I don't know.
The Allied Arts Academy? I don't know that it necessarily was. It may have just been, but I don't think that I don't know if she specifically had organized it for that. She probably wanted it to be multicultural, but I'm not sure if that is the community that it was in. I'm not sure. So what I do know is that it was for ballet, art, and music. It wasn't just a music school. So there were ballet teachers there, art teachers, and music teachers. And Katherine Dunham had actually set up a similar school in the 1930s for ballet, and that is where she worked as the rehearsal pianist on that production that I had mentioned before. So I think that inspired her in some way to do this kind of thing, because she was working with these artists. But it was located at 6407 South Parkway, if you want the address. I didn't actually go there, and I don't know if the building is still standing, but 6407 South Parkway. And she was the piano and composition instructor, and this is what I was saying before. She composed the incidental music for Langston Hughes's play Troubled Island. And around this time, and this may have been the same time, don't quote me on this, but I think it is. Because she wrote the incidental music for that play, that would have meant that she was making money off of those plays wherever they were produced. And that particular play, I think, was premiered in Cleveland, Ohio, from the books that I read about Langston Hughes. So there were a series of productions, or performances of that particular play, and one of them was at her school. So I'm thinking that may have been too where she was getting some money. But the school closed because of the financial issues and the Great Depression. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
yeah, okay. You're welcome.
Maybe another suggestion. My understanding is that during that time it may have been easier to get public funding for
yeah, that's
and
right.
then in Chicago to start these kind of arts programs during the Depression.
Yes, that's right.
WPA.
Yeah, in fact, the Romeo and Julie production that she did was I think it's, what is it, a WACP?
WPA.
Yeah, and it was a grant that was started by President Roosevelt at that time, and because the Great Depression was going on, he wanted to make sure that the arts still flourished. And so when there were groups, especially in metropolitan areas, that wanted to produce these kinds of things, there was funding from the government. So that's how they got the money for Romeo and Julie. A question back here?
A dovetail off of, there's so much wonderful information floating in the air that it's easy to get sidetracked. The one thing that you mentioned about Margaret composing incidental music to Langston's play Troubled Island, that places...
No. She wouldn't have composed music to Troubled Island. That's not what you said. she was rehearsal pianist, right?
Oh, no,
No,
she
she
actually composed the incidental music, yes.
music.
She was rehearsal pianist for.
I'm getting it confused with William Grant
William
Still's
Grant
opera.
Yeah, the opera,
Yes.
not the opera.
Yeah,
She was rehearsal pianist for the ballet.
And
The
my
ballet,
point, I'm
William Grant
hoping
Still's ballet.
that this will clarify
Yeah.
some matters at least. William Grant Still's opera
His ballet.
or his ballet?
Yeah, La Vie Blesse was a ballet, so Catherine
Okay.
Dunham and Ruth Page were involved in that.
But-
William Grant Still, okay, that's why you're
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah,
because he wrote
William
an
Grant
opera.
Still,
It's an
sorry,
opera.
yes,
Yeah.
he composed Troubled Island, which is an opera.
Right.
But Langston Hughes
It was a play first.
wrote a play, yes.
Right.
Yeah, which is, it's about Haiti, and Langston Hughes spent a year or two in Haiti.
Okay.
Right.
And
So
you-
that's what that was, and she wrote the incidental music for that theatrical work.
Okay, so her incidental music predates the music that Still.
Oh, yes, it does,
for
very
the
good
opera.
question, yeah.
Very interesting, I did not.
Yeah, I know, and I had to go through that same process when I discovered this, because I thought the same thing. I said, oh, wait, but there's an opera, and no, so William Grant Still's opera came after that, and I wanna say, maybe it was 10 years after that? that William Grant-
1949, about 1949.
Yes, yeah, right, and Langston Hughes's play, yes, oh, I have it here, here's the sentence. In 1938, 11 years before the premiere of Still's opera, Vaughan composed incidental music for a production of Langston Hughes's play, Troubled Island, which was performed as a benefit for the school. Okay,
Okay.
so it's right there.
Okay.
And then she also composed, now this was another thing that she did that I didn't mention in the discussion. She composed and edited 12 easy exercises and lessons for the piano. That was her actual etude book for the piano. And that was published by Bowles Music House in 1939. So that was another way in which she went about making some money. Yes, and her students that studied with her there, actually Gerald Cook went on to study with Nadia Boulanger, and that was the young man who played as a concert pianist and worked with Lena Horne and Ethel Waters, Carmen McRae, and Johnny Hartman, a lot of famous jazz singers. Yeah.
Again, to dovetail off of another point that
Sure.
Gerald Taylor made, about Margaret not having formally studied voice, but having informally studied some of the vocal repertoire. I recall a quote that Duke Ellington made about his time with Will Marion Cook, and they
yes.
weren't even in a music room, they were riding around in a cab, basically. You know, in New York City, where Duke Ellington spoke of just that time spent as a conservatory without walls. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, he was, right. And do you remember any of those quotes that,
well, just that
just,
one quote,
just that
really.
one?
Yeah.
That it was like, okay,
You know, and
great,
it
yeah.
really speaks to Will Marion Cook's
Yeah, influence.
position, influence, stature.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, because I don't know if I was watching a documentary about that very thing, and Will Marion Cook had told him something whereby he said, find what it is that you want to do most in life, and then you find the traditional way of doing it, and then go as far from that as possible. And, I'm very much paraphrasing, and I hope that I'm saying the right thing, but I believe that was between him and Duke Ellington, yeah. Because he wanted to encourage him, he had all this talent as this young pianist and composer, and he was very influential in his career too. Yes. Okay, one more question?
I was gonna say, yeah, last
Okay,
comment.
okay.
Bonds wrote very warmly of Harry Burleigh. Do you have
Anything about
About
that?
that
Yes,
relationship?
no, I don't have any information about that, and I wondered that too, if she had ever met him. I haven't.
Well, especially when she went to New York.
Right, I would
This
think
was
so,
later years,
but there's nothing specific whereby she says, she worked with him as a teacher, or as a student.
Well, Abby Mitchell would have certainly, Abby Mitchell credits Burleigh with,
Yes,
being
yes,
so
and,
warm and helpful when she first met Will Marion Cook, who was not very nice to her.
oh,
She was only 12.
right.
She had
Right,
no
well, I
idea
think
who
that
these
her and
people
her
were.
friend, and I can't remember the name of the friend that was there for the Lully and Avanti concert, they had to go, off into another room because they were making noise, during the concert, but, they were children, they were very, very young, I'm sure under the age of 8. But this is the quote, that I don't know if this is, well, let me just read this sentence from the treatise. The songs that Mitchell introduced to her were Franz Schubert's König, songs by Claude Debussy, Gabrielle Fauré, and H.T. Burley. And she experienced her first encounter with Burley's setting of Walt Whitman's poem Ethiopia, Saluting the Colors, and the song cycle, the Saracen songs, with poetry by Fred G. Bowles. And so she said that Abby Mitchell then, through Abby Mitchell, she had the close analysis of the works of all the composers. That's what Margaret Bonds actually says about her. Yeah, so that's the quote that I have. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Wonderful. Please remember that there are 4 books over there full of archival materials from the Northwestern University, and the black book has the index, and the index is at the front of every book too. So
And I want to thank her personally. It was a wonderful way to start off our day and our thinking of Margaret Bond. So what a wonderful way, wonderful job she did. The books will be over here. We just need to take a couple of minutes break for us to get the Skype up with Helen Walker Hill. And while we do that, if you want to start to look at some of the books, but they will also be in person hall all day. So we'll have time in between. I've left usually 15 to 30 minutes between sessions for you to kind of talk, to mill, to think. We will have a lunch that is a session lunch. So you have to go get your lunch and bring it back to the session that Terrence McKnight is going to do on Florence Price. So we'll point you in the direction of, there's Subway, there's McAllister's, there's a couple of sandwich places just a block away on Franklin Street if you want to grab a lunch, or if you brought a lunch and kind of hang out and hear that. But thank you so much. Take a second break and we'll get started. Turn this off.